Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session with Nadine Moussa. And there are a few community agreements we'd like to go on just briefly. And there's also QR code, whoever wants to scan and add to these agreements. So we welcome everyone, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, identity, ability, or disability. All are welcome in this space. I would like to commend all of you to assume positive intentions, participate to the extent that makes you feel comfortable, always critique ideas, not people. This is a safe space. Express yourself however you'd want to, and always try to describe visuals as much as you can. And welcome. Nadine, you can take it away.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I would love to hear a little bit more from, I know we have somebody from Canada, of course, Christina's from Canada. If you could just unmute yourself and let us know where are you from, or if you prefer to write in the chat, and then we could move on. So I'm based in Egypt, Giza, next to the beautiful pyramids.
I'll just say I'm in British Columbia, Canada, kind of near Vancouver.
Welcome. Thank you, Christina.
I'm in Vermont, the beautiful Green Mountains of Vermont, so not too far from Canada, a long ways from British Columbia, but not too far from Quebec and the eastern part of Canada.
And Nadine is stepping in that she's based in Maadi, close to the beautiful Nile. Oh, and by the way, if you ever visit Egypt, taking a boat from the Maadi is probably one of the best places, better than Cairo. Maadi is a nicer, quieter area. So welcome, Nadine.
Hi, I'm in just outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania in the States. Nice
Welcome, Rebecca. And Dr. Meg is saying she's from Wisconsin in the United States. Welcome.
And I will go. I'm Teresa. I'm in the southeast of France near the Mediterranean Sea and the border with Italy.
Oh, beautiful. That's a lovely spot. I haven't visited that spot, but it's in my bucket list. Welcome, Teresa.
Thank you.
Okay. So I will be sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. Let me get that one up. I'm really excited to be here with you today. So, Teresa, you said you need to be going in an hour. Okay, that's fine. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so welcome to the Wisdom of Emotions. I hope everybody can see my screen and everything's okay with that. This is a QR code. If you're not able to scan it now, I'll share it later. There's some survey that I'd ask after we do some activity. If you're able to scan it, perfect. Okay, let's share the link here.
Nadine, do you want us to do it now? The survey on Mentimeter?
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm going to share with you. Hopefully that should work on this. We'll do it a bit later. Just give me a moment because Nadine asked me to send it on the Zoom. The chat. Oh. Okay. So let me introduce myself. My name is Nadine Moussa. I am formerly a corporate marketeer, business development. I was in the corporate rat race for a good over 16 years. And then I moved into a new domain of learning facilitation. I'm a writer, a speaker. I'm an Enneagram practitioner. Enneagram is like MBTI, it's personality types. And I am a happiness and inspirational coach. Now, my purpose in life is it's a gift that I have been given, a divine gift, is inspiring others to reach their potential. And I believe my calling in this world is to lead not a political revolution, but an emotional revolution. I mean, we've had a lot of revolutions in life. We've got the agricultural, the industrial, even AI, you know. But I think it's about time that we need to stop and connect to our hearts, because we have really misunderstood them for so long. And I've gone through several, life experiences that have always, connected me with my heart. I was disconnected from my heart for many years, but now this is my calling, is that you guys, we need to be connected to our hearts. We need to reclaim our humanity in the midst of all the insanity that we are living nowadays. And this is the only way that I believe we can prosper as a human race. This is the only way that we can thrive, not survive in life, is by connecting to our hearts. So that's a little bit about me. And I always like to give credit to all my teachers. I have gone through a very long inner work journey. And the input, there's many inputs to this wisdom of emotions. So yes, it's got to do a lot with my own personal story. However, I have a lot of input. So I've done my happiness coaching as a big input. That's where I had my aha moment, if you may. Of course, I have my Enneagram is the reason that I went outside of my comfort zone and I designed this workshop. It was because of the Enneagram. I am not a Kundalini yoga teacher. However, I am a student. And this is also, I took a lot of things on about emotional clarity courses. I have taken the U theory of transformation with MITx, which is really very important in terms of how you move into any kind of transformation. And that has also informed this workshop. And I am an associate learning facilitator with C, which is Scottish-based Social Enterprise Academy. So I'd like to give credit to all of my teachers, and just to give you a bit of an idea, where is this all coming from? This is a lot of the things that went inside, and then you went into the mind manufacturing, and then the wisdom of emotions is basically the output. So why wisdom of emotions? I gave you a little bit of some hits in terms of what I want to do, but for me, the world we live in today is quite polarized. Yeah. Some people believe we are living in the best of times, and others believe we are living in the worst of times. I think COVID has pushed our humanity to the limit, because I think what happened with COVID is we are now facing a global mental health pandemic. And for us to really address our mental health, you need to connect to your heart. You need to be comfortable with your emotions. However, nobody really talks to us about emotions. And if we go into our schooling, and if we go into how our parents brought us up, or let alone our cultures, the various cultures that we live in, nobody really teaches us what to do with these emotions, or how to manage it. I believe the irony of it is that when it comes to the mind and the IQ, the human race has several PhD levels when it comes to the cognitive science and everything related to the mind. However, when it comes to the matters of the heart, I believe we are still at the very beginning. We are more like on kindergarten level in terms of understanding the matters of the heart. If we are looking to have global peace, how can we have global peace when we don't even have our own inner peace? How can we connect with one another, with our neighbors, if we are not connected with our own selves and we don't really know what we want or what we feel? We need to have that internal connection first before you're able to have a connection with anybody outside of us. And hence, I believe the Wisdom of Emotions workshop is very timely and needed. And when I realized that I personally have misunderstood emotions for so long, and I have disconnected from my emotions for over 20 years, and I have suffered tremendously physically and emotionally with relationships on all fronts in my life. And I finally understood them. And I finally understood that I had the very wrong coping mechanism. And I realized, I'm not the only one. So many other people are really struggling with emotions and they don't know. So I'm coming here from a lived experience. I am not a therapist, but I have lived a disconnected life where I have ignored my emotions and I have suffered on all frontiers in my life. And when I slowly went inside and I did a lot of inner work and I studied a lot of things, suddenly things were, falling into place. And I had epiphanies after another. And I realized, share. What maybe by your sharing, you can actually save somebody all of the journey that you went through and make their life easier for them. They will be able to navigate their emotions. And whatever techniques we talk about here today, it will be mainly for regular everyday emotions, not necessarily with regards to PTSD, because that obviously would require professional help. Can we mute, please? Okay. Now, Aristotle said it so beautifully. What did he say? He said, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. And we have, as always, totally ignored these great philosophers. They knew it all along, but we're just going ahead and focusing on the mind, on the mind. And what I'm trying to share with you today is that we believe that emotions are irrational and the mind is the rational. But I would like to challenge you. And maybe if you can think about it differently, and actually there might be rational in the irrational of the emotions. And hold that thought, entertain that, and let's see by the end if you may agree or not. So we will be doing a quick check-in, and then we are going to have a small icebreaker. And I'll talk a little bit more about the wisdom of emotions, and we will be having some time to practice a technique after a meditation. And then obviously we have the very important part of the sharing and the feedback, and we will do also a checkout. So what will you be getting from today? You will have the time to revisit your own relationship with your emotions. You will get the time, you will get hopefully increased vocabulary when it comes to emotions and your self-awareness. And you will get a simple technique to help you in navigating your everyday emotions. So let's start with the check-in. If you can write in the chat, imagine this is the continuum. And when it comes to emotions, where do you stand in this continuum? Do you find yourself standing in the sunny side of emotions where things are bright? Not that you're happy all the time, because nobody's happy all the time. Don't misunderstand the sunny as being happy. No, it's a matter of it's clear. For you, emotions are clear and you have visibility and you're okay with your emotions. Or are you standing more towards the dusty, sandy side of the continuum, wherein the visibility isn't there, wherein sometimes you're actually feeling suffocated by your emotions? So within that continuum, where do you stand in terms of emotions? Are you on the sunny side of emotions, or are you on the sandy side? Is that clear, or would you need more explanation? More towards the sandy side, okay. Midway. Leaning towards the sunny, I would say more towards the sunny. I think roughly in the middle, more on the sunny side, depends on the day and the situation. Fair enough. I'm definitely on the sunny side. Life is too short for me to spend time on the sandy side. Congratulations, David. Okay. That's amazing. If you can continue writing in, that would be great. Perfect. And hopefully towards the end, we'll check if there's any variation that happened. A little bit of both. So you're more in the middle? Normally, where are you? Because obviously, I know the key is what on average, where are you? More on the sandy or on the sunny? I understand we keep moving from them, but generally speaking, where are you more inclined to? Sunny then. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Okay. So I want to share with you a little bit about Nadine and her philosophy. Now, a lot of these things, they're not necessarily something that Nadine created. It's actually from people that are very well read, and you probably are aware. I am here putting them all together on one slide, and I am inviting you to entertain them. You don't necessarily have to accept them, but this is food for thought, and I'm putting it up there for you to entertain. This is my philosophy. So the first point is, you are whole and complete as you are. Yeah. Now, because we have a lot of issues with self-love and self-esteem across all genders, across all cultures, this is really something that we need to remind ourselves that each and every one of us is whole and complete as we are. And you are perfectly imperfect. Nobody is perfect. And you are perfectly imperfect. And it's very important to accept that. Everything will happen in its good time. This I have learned from my book. I wrote a book about the revolution in Egypt called Tahrir Voices, and it took me 7 years. And that book taught me patience, and it taught me that, I can't rush it. Everything will happen in its good time. This is a tricky one and very challenging, but in reality, let's say over 95% of the time, there are no issues, and it's really all in my head. Yeah. So it's all a matter of mindset and how you are thinking. It's how you are approaching the situation. Nothing is permanent. This too shall pass. So the impermanence of everything. So if you keep remembering that, that will actually put things into perspective, and maybe then you wouldn't really necessarily get too frustrated about a certain situation, because that too will pass. Not saying that you won't get frustrated. We are human beings. We have the right to have all forms of feelings, but it's not to stay with that feeling for too long. And everything is energy. And I invite you, please, to notice your own energy. And when I talk about energy, you need to think about it from everything, from what you drink, to what you eat, to how you sleep, to who you interact with. Are you surrounding yourself with people who are boosting your energy, or are you surrounding with people who are draining your energy? Notice the music that you are listening to. Notice the social media that you are consuming. Notice the kind of books that you are reading. All of this is related to energy. Even the clothes that you wear is related to energy. Yeah. So everything boils down to energy. And the key equation here is we need more of things that boost your energy rather than drain your energy. And that always comes with self-awareness. This is a bit tricky. However, it's really true. Comparison is the thief of all joy. We tend to compare ourselves and we fall into that trap. But then don't stay there for too long, because remember, it will steal you from your joy. If you want to compare yourself with yourself and how you were the day before and how you were the day after. And Nelly agrees very well with that. Perfect. Thank you. Everything is connected and there are no coincidences. Today, you are attending this session with no coincidence. There is a message that is meant for you to receive today. And that is why you're attending this workshop. I am here to deliver that message. It's not a coincidence. This is meant to happen. Yeah? So there are no coincidences and everything is connected. It's just up to us to have that high level of self-awareness to start connecting the dots together. This is a very difficult one, but it's really, really important. And particularly if you're going to go ahead and do your inner work, you need to be kind and gentle with yourself. You pat yourself and say you're doing well, rather than becoming too critical, because we tend to fall into the trap of being too critical of oneself. And even with this, it needs to be even physical. So you can go ahead and, hug yourself and pat yourself. You're doing well. Do that. Really, it makes a huge difference. And it all begins to shift when you love and approve of yourself. Everything begins and ends with love. And like Louise Hay says, forgiveness is the answer to almost everything. And if you're not ready to forgive, it's okay. Everything will happen in time. Remember, everything will happen in time. Being aware of where you are is very important. What you resist persists. So you will be continuing to having the patterns in your life are going to keep on repeating if you do not notice them and break them, if you stop focusing on what you're focusing on. Because if you wake up this morning and you say, what a horrible day it is, or you're complaining about the weather if that's raining, or you're complaining about this crazy world with all the wars that are going on. If you keep on going into that complaining mode, the whole day you're going to attract things that are going to lead you to complaining. But if you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm going to have a good day, today's a wonderful day, oh, I have another day to live on this earth, what will I do? You will have a very upbeat, energetic day. So remember, what you resist persists. And what you put your attention on grows. So that's a little bit what I was also referring to on. So that is my philosophy. And I hope you can entertain this with me today. And of course, we're all human. So it doesn't mean that this means that I do not resist things. Of course, I do resist things. Sometimes I do fall into comparison. I'm a human being, but these are the things that help me come back, and I don't stay too long falling into comparison or falling into something complaining if I go into a complaining mode or so. Okay, so I would like us to do a little icebreaker. And let me just stop my share. So I'm going to type in what I would like us to do. Noreen, if we can, how many we have around?
I think 6. But the co-hosts can be a part of the icebreaker if they feel like it as well.
Yes. So what we're going to do is you're going to have around 4 minutes to discuss. And I'm okay to do it also all of us together here, or if you want to do it in breakout. So please let me know what you prefer. So the 2 questions that I want you to answer, whether it be all of us together here or in the breakout, is what brings you joy? And the other one is what triggers you? So would you like us to do it all together here, or would you prefer to talk with somebody? I'm very open. Let me put in the chat what you prefer.
Yes, everyone type down what you would prefer. Send you in breakout rooms, or would you like to chat, all of us here? Both work. Yeah, we are a small group.
Okay. All right, so we stay here. All right, so who would like, I'll go ahead and module for me, what brings me joy. Breakout room for more, because we are, okay, what you could do is we can stop the, okay, let me say my record, and then we can stop the recording, Noreen.
Yes, I'll pause it, okay.
Thank you, and then but please remember to re-record after.
Yes, of course.
All right, so I'll demonstrate. So for me, what brings me joy is connecting with people and being in nature and all forms of nature. I'm fine with the snow, the sand, the desert, the sea, the mountains, all forms of nature for me. I feel my soul is being fed and I'm quite elevated, and connecting with people on a genuine level, like how we are today together, makes me, I feel like I'm walking on cloud 7. So these are the things that bring me joy. And what triggers me is, especially when my son, this is mainly for my son, and he doesn't listen to me. I keep telling him to do things and he just ignores me and he doesn't listen to me. Oh boy. Or when I ask him to do something in the house and he doesn't do it. I just hate to be not listened to, because I feel this is a kind of like disrespect. You know, this is how I sense that. The other thing that kind of triggers me is when I feel I'm being not appreciated. Yeah. So these are the two things that would trigger me. So Noreen, if you can stop recording here. So I invite you, when you go back to your lives, to invite these two questions with your, on the professional and the personal front. What triggers you and what brings you joy with your family, your friends, your students, your colleagues? It can give you a lot of information in getting to know one another. And the triggers, let's talk a little bit more about the triggers. So your triggers, you know, that's your growth. So when you point, because like when you're pointing your finger, yeah, you're pointing one finger on the person you're blaming. Yeah. Many times it's my son, my husband, my boss, whoever. And my thumb is pointing up to God, to the universe, whatever you want to call. And 3 are pointing at me. So when you blame or when you are triggered, it's actually you. There's something that happened from that person that triggered you. That means you need to do some inner work. You need to stop and reflect. What's happening here? Why is it that that person triggered me? Why is it that wasting time is triggering me, or having being totally overwhelmed with so many things? Why is it overwhelming me? And you sit with that. Why is this injustice overwhelming me? It could be that something happened in your childhood that it's reflecting and you didn't really deal with it. You didn't really heal it. Yeah. So your triggers, that is where you can grow. Because remember, if you have the comfort zone, yeah, you have your comfort zone. And if you want to grow, right after the comfort zone is the anxiety zone. Now the anxiety is that is what causes you the trigger. Yeah, that fear, the anxiety, that is what causes you trigger. And once you're able to deal with that, you can actually move on to the learning zone and eventually even to the growth zone. So notice what you wrote here today and what you shared about your triggers. And I invite you to reflect on them and see what you need to do about them. So one of the triggers that I used to have, but I no longer have, is driving in Egyptian traffic. I used to go mad and beep, beep, beep. You know, I don't know if you all came here, but Egyptian traffic is organized chaos. There are no rules. The rule is there are no rules. And it's you and the car on the street. We don't even have those white lanes, you know, in the middle. We don't even believe them. I remember once being with a taxi driver and he was literally, you know, he kept his car in the middle of the lane. So the line was in the middle of the car. And I was like telling him, you know, you're supposed to be on the right or on the left. He says, no, this is the way you should. You should be like, no, that's not the way it should be. He thought that was it. So there are no rules in Egypt. However, I worked on my trigger, and to the extent that I actually had a small accident and I bumped my car a few years ago. And then the guy in front of me stopped all of a sudden, and I didn't have enough time, and I bumped the car, and then behind me, another car bumped into me. And the two men come out of their cars, and I stayed in the car with my son, and I was totally calm, totally calm. They got triggered by my calmness. They got annoyed because I am calm. Imagine, I worked on my trigger, and I'm not getting annoyed by them, and I'm not shouting at anything, and they got annoyed by me being calm. So when you work on your triggers, you can manage them, and you can. I'm living proof. Well, now I drive, I don't curse, I don't blow my horn, and I know, expect the unexpected, you know? That's how I go with driving in Egypt. All right, so I would like to read a poem for you. Rumi says it beautifully. He, in the guest house, he says, "This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows, who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight, the dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond." This is exactly what I'm trying to say with the wisdom of emotions. Your emotions are guests, and in most cultures, guests are treated honorably and they are welcomed. And yet, when it comes to our emotions, we tend to not welcome them. We tend to ignore them. We tend to suppress them. Or it depends. Yeah. What the key is actually to feel them. Yeah, it is definitely a very deep metaphor. Thank you, Noreen. So how do you think from now, this is something that you can entertain, that emotions are guests? So I will leave that thought with you. And before I move on to the next slide, I wanted to ask you a few questions, and you can write them in the chat. Now, how many thoughts do you think there are in a day? Thoughts, not emotions. Any idea? You can write them in the chat or unmute yourself. Thousands, absolutely. How many thousands? It can be a guess story. A 100,000. Okay. 25,000. Okay. So it's in combination, it's in between the two. They say it's between 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts. Imagine a day, so many thoughts that are going on in this crazy head of ours. Now, how many emotions do you think we feel in a day? And the other question with regards to emotions, how many emotions do you think there are? So there are two things.
I think Nadine has her hand up.
Okay. Nadine, if you want to, please, Nadine, unmute yourself.
Yes. Nadine,
Yes.
because you have your hand up. You raised your
Oh,
hand.
sorry about that. That's my bad.
Yeah, because I think you got disconnected. That's why there's something. That's okay. Ah. So how many emotions do you think there are, or how many do you have in a day? Okay, Rebecca's asking, does each instant of the same emotion count as a new one? No. I mean, if it's the same emotion, no. Because there are different emotions, and there are many different emotions, and I want us to see if we are aware of this or not. Some days feel dominated by only a handful of emotions. Okay. Christina, do you have any idea how many emotions there are? I told you, we're in the world of emotions, we're still in kindergarten, but there have been some studies and they have 60 emotions. Okay. Hundreds. It depends on how long we are awake, unless you count the thoughts and emotions going on in our dreams. Oh, I love this, David. Thank you for that. 100. Okay, so in a day, 70? No, actually it's higher. It's quite higher, between 10 to 15. So we have in a day between dreams can definitely be very absolutely. And by the way, dreams can also give, it's usually with your dreams, it's your subconscious communicating to you. Yeah. So be wary and try to make those connections. When I told you everything is connected, even your dreams, by the way, spooky as it sounds, but even your dreams. So the number of emotions that you have in a day is around 400. Okay. Well, not that many like our thoughts. Our thoughts are like haywire, they're crazy. Yep. And the number of emotions that has been studied by a psychologist called Robert Plutchik, he termed them at 34,000 emotions. Okay, Rebecca, I don't know. I can't record. But you'll find Robert Plutchik, he did a study. But how did he actually quantify it? But you'll find if you go and Google Robert Plutchik, and he's the one who actually inspired the emotional wheel, which I'll be sharing with you right now. He came up with 34,000. Now, we are clueless when it comes. I don't know all the 34,000 emotions. We are really, really in kindergarten when it comes to terming emotions. And what I like about the emotional wheel is that it gives you some of this vocabulary. Yeah. So like in the colors, yeah, colors, you have basic colors, and then you have from the Pantones, and you can have millions of colors out of the colors, those basic colors, the basic 4 colors. It's the same with the emotions. We have the basic emotions of love, fear, anger, sadness, happiness, surprise, or disgust. And from there, you can actually get more. So this wheel, emotional wheel, is an invitation for you. And remind me, Maureen, I'll share both the poem and this wheel. I have a handout. I'll put it in the chat. Remind me at the very end to do that for everybody to keep and download. So you can use this to get to know more about if you're afraid. It's fear the thing. Is it really fear, generally speaking, or are you feeling embarrassed, vulnerable, or rejected? Are you feeling worried or insecure? They're quite different. So it's more of self-reflection and self-awareness, and to really determine how are you feeling. This is a very simple tool to be used. Yeah. And how many here, when somebody asks you, how are you feeling, answer, okay? How many of you? Raise your hand. Yeah. How are you feeling? You just say, okay. So, okay is not a feeling. Please stop that. If there's one thing you come out of today, next time somebody asks you, how are you feeling? Be honest with yourself and the person who's asking you. Say what you feel. You need to be, your body is your temple, and you need to be you need to trust it and honor it. Yeah. Say what you feel. And the whole concept of the wisdom of emotions is you need to feel your emotion, whatever emotion it is, negative or positive. So when you feel it, then you're able to heal it. And then you're able to let it go. But if you resist, remember what we said at the beginning, resist, whatever you resist persists. So if you resist that you're feeling angry or mad, that's going to persist. And then you will not be able to heal it. On the contrary, it will actually affect your body, and you can fall at dis-ease, which is basically disease. So very important is to acknowledge what you feel. Okay. Now, here, let me stop the share here. Okay. So David, you had a, yeah, Robert Luxnick, that's the name. If we are not feeling well, do we want to spread misery around? Do you mean by if somebody's asking you how you're feeling and you say that I'm feeling miserable? Is that what you mean? Yeah. It's not a matter of spreading misery. It's saying that I'm not okay. Right now, I'm not in an okay place. I'm not feeling okay. And that's okay. It's okay to be not okay. But if you are telling them I'm fine when you are not fine, then you're not honoring yourself. And then if they're asked, if you are put in a situation that's crisis mode and you're supposed to be completely full alert and you're not feeling well and you're feeling miserable, you're not going to be able to perform. So it's very important to say where you are at any point in time. It's not meant that you, right, doesn't mean that I'm sharing that I am not feeling well, that I mean it's contagious. That's not the intention. The intention is that you're honoring yourself and saying how you're feeling. You're coming from a place of authenticity. You're coming from a place of vulnerability. Yeah. And once you role model that, everybody around you, whether it be on your family, your students, your team, they will do the same. I'm fine in Ross's voice, exactly. He says, I'm fine. No. That's not, fine is not an emotion, guys. You need to say it. I'm not, and even if you're afraid that people are going to, that you're rubbing it off, say that, David. So say, I'm not feeling well, I'm miserable, but I don't want you to get affected by me, but this is how I'm feeling right now. You can even say it, because words are energy, and put your intention. It's always very important to put your intention out there. Okay. Does that answer your question, David? No? So if tell me what more would you, if you want to write or unmute, let me know how.
I think when you interact with others, I think it's important to balance our needs, right? My needs with the needs of others. If you are not in a position of influence, I think it's easier to then be honest and say, okay, I'm not doing well. But I think we're social creatures, and I think we have to balance our own needs. And I'm not arguing that they're not legitimate, right? But I'm saying that, or suggesting that we set an example for others. I said before, I'm a teacher, okay? So I'm in a position to, influence a lot of people at the same time. And although I want to be honest with myself and I want them to understand that I know, that I'm vulnerable, I also feel an obligation to set the tone for the meeting or the class or the activity, whatever it is. So I don't just immediately, if somebody says, how are you doing? The honest response doesn't just pop out.
Totally understand.
Because I'm reminded of that responsibility.
Totally understand. Okay, so the key for this is to have a safe environment. Okay, so because obviously if you don't have that safe environment to be vulnerable, then you won't necessarily be able to do that. Now, coming to that obligation of that you are the role model, nobody's happy all the time. Yeah, nobody is, all right all the time. We go through a roller coaster of emotions, and in a day you can go for 400. Doesn't mean that we're not showing up. Yeah. However, when I'm coming in and I'm coming into the classroom and I'm showing up and I have this exercise to do, but then I come but I'm telling them in the morning, how am I feeling? I'm feeling confused. I'm really confused. There's a war breaking out left, right, and center, and I don't know who's right and who's wrong and where's the truth. I'm really feeling very confused. As an example, I'm not rubbing off by sharing that. I'm not rubbing off that I want other people to feel confused, but I am sharing my authenticity and sharing where my state of mind, and not state of mind, state of being, actually, it's just feeling. When I do that, I am giving the students the opportunity for them to feel safe, that they can also feel confused, and they can share that they're feeling confused at times, because we are all human beings. So it's not easy, and it's not going to come all of a sudden that you're comfortable to do this. You have to be gentle. One day you'll be comfortable to do it, and another day you're not going to be. It's fine. Whatever it is, it is. You just be wary of it, and as much as possible, be as honest as possible when you're asked that, because you are, as a leader, yes, you are setting the tone, but you are the role model. So if you are able to show them your vulnerability, they will be able to show you theirs. It's like also with parents. If parents, I have a client of mine who's saying that, he's always saying that I'm always showing to my wife and my kids that I always have it together. I said, but why? We don't have it all together all the time. This is how I'm working with him to let down his guards and to actually be authentic and know and share with his own family that at times, yes, as a man, doesn't matter, man, woman, nobody has it all together all the time. And it's okay to share that. It's being vulnerable, and it doesn't mean it's a weakness. And we'll talk about some of the myths that are going to come up here. Okay. Now, I want to share a little bit quickly about my own story. Why I told you there's this personal story that I went through to reach to this awareness. So I graduated from the American University in Cairo back in '97, and I was quite young, and I started working in corporate not even at the age of 20. I was very excited and competitive, and I wanted to really grow very quickly in the corporate world. At the age of 23, I had this very difficult boss who used to sit me across his desk and give me destructive feedback, because at the time we did not know of anything called constructive feedback. It wasn't part of the culture. So I'm not blaming my boss, because that was the norm. And we didn't have anything called coaching or mentoring. That was unheard of at the time in the late 90s. And each time he gave me feedback, that destructive feedback, I would guess what would happen to me. I was quite young at 23. Any idea?
Imagining myself, I would have cried probably.
Exactly. He always got me a box of tissues right in front of the desk. Nadine's coming in, and he put the box of tissues right. Okay, so crybaby's here. Go ahead and cry.
I think it's mean that he'd get you tissues before you'd come in, though.
It didn't happen once. It happened so many times, and I was crying like a baby in front of my boss. And I was like, okay, this is not gonna work, Nadine. You want to move on, it's not professional, and you want to get promoted and move on, and this is not going to work. Not knowing any better, my coping mechanism was that emotions are coming in the way of my life, so I am going to ignore my emotions, and I'm going to take them all up and put them in the back of the trunk of my car and lock it, and continue driving my car in my journey of life. Emotions ignored, parked in the trunk. Fast forward 7-8 years later. What happens to you if you keep bottling up resentment and anger? What do you think happens?
Eventually explode at some point.
Yep, exactly. And that explosion happened in my body with all the toxins, and I fell sick. I had a life-threatening disease at the age of 31, and my boys were 3.5 and 1.5. It was a form of cancer called lymphoma. And it was like, okay, stop. You're gonna lose your life like this. You need to stop, reflect, and change. And then I started to notice that the emotions that I had in my life, they were mainly negative emotions. A lot of negative emotions, and the positive were very low. So that imbalance didn't really work for me. So I decided to invite gratitude into my life. And I started to become grateful for all the blessings that I had. And I am very grateful that God gave me another chance and my body is healed and I'm with you here today sharing my story. Fast forward, I stopped for a while corporate, then I went back to corporate for a while. Yeah, the body keeps the score, absolutely, absolutely. And it's one of the books I have in the reference. So I went back to corporate and I got into a new position and I was very happy. And then back in 2019, there was a restructure. And at that restructure, although I wasn't happy and I was traveling across, from far west to far east in Cairo. And Cairo is big and traffic is bad. I was taking Ubers. I couldn't drive anymore because it was so long. I couldn't really accept the fact that there was a restructure and I took it very personally. And I felt that, okay, my role in this company was coming to an end. However, I identified Nadine with the role. So for me, I was thinking, okay, my life is coming to an end. And I fell down into a depression. And by the way, the first time I was sick, I had depression and anxiety, but we were clueless about that, totally ignorant. And hence, obviously, I didn't get the proper treatment and what have you. That time in 2018, when I went back into that big black hole, what woke me up was losing my very good friend of mine to cancer. It was like a slap on my face. Wake up. Yes, there's one door closing with work, and this is the end of your role here, but you have so many other doors that are opening up. And you can be all the other things you wanted to do in life, but you never had the time because you were so busy in the corporate rat race. Now you have the time. Don't you see? It's a blessing. And hence I moved into so many different things. You saw how many teachers I went through, and I've been doing a lot of self-learning, and I found myself in another completely different field. And I'm more in line with my values now. And when one of those courses, I was doing a happiness course, and one of my colleagues, not my teacher, we were doing a coaching circle, and we were talking, and then suddenly she says this amazing thing. And that really shifted my life completely. She said, emotion is energy in motion. I said, what? Say it again. I didn't get it. Emotion is energy in motion. So if it is energy, and I'm blocking it and locking it and forgetting about it in the back of the car, then I had it all wrong. I really had it all wrong. It's not emotions that are coming in the way of my life. It's me that's coming in the way of my life. And I decided, you know what? Go find that key, unlock that trunk, and get your emotions next to me. I'm in the driving seat, not my emotions, but they are my co-pilot. And ever since then, they are in my co-pilot. So there are things that are happening. Now I am expressing my emotions freely. Before that, I wouldn't. And by doing that, I'm more connected with myself. I'm honoring myself more. And by doing that, my relationships with my family, with my colleagues, have tremendously improved because I am honoring myself and I'm honoring them. I'm living an authentic life. Yeah. So I just wanted to give you a little bit where the whole inspiration came. It's emotion is energy in motion. So whatever emotion you're going through, it needs to be felt. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go into a little bit of an exercise now with a meditation. But I will explain to you the technique. It's called feel technique. What do you think the F stands for? It's a bit easy, feel. Okay. What about the E? Anybody in the chat? Engage. Energy. Explore. Oh, you're giving me some nice words here. I can also use them later. So here, I'm referring to embracing the emotion. Yeah? It could be also engaging it. I like that too. And what do you think the A is? Absolutely. You need to accept it. Allow it. Also very nice. What about the L? Love. Oh, love is a good one. I didn't think about that, but that's not what I had in mind, but I love that. Absolutely. Let it go. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I want us to actually try to do this very, a couple of minutes of a meditation where we'll go through the field technique. Are you okay with doing a meditation? Put in the chat. Yeah. Yes. Okay, great. Any background sound? Okay. Too loud or is it fine?
It's a bit too loud. We can barely hear you.
But now, can you hear me now? Is that okay?
Yes, I could hear you. Yes.
Okay. I would like to invite you. Have your feet on the ground. Invite you to your breath.
Can you raise your own volume, Nadine?
Is it
Not
better?
no. You could minimize the video a little bit. You're good, but just the video itself.
Stop and share it again. Maybe that. Let me see.
Because we hit the right frequency earlier, and then
You can also
Yes.
click on share sound when you're sharing screen.
Yes. How's it this way? Is it still loud, or are you hearing me or no?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Your voice has to be this loud though, because when you
All
go
right.
into your meditative voice, then we can't hear you.
Okay. Gotcha. So please have your feet on the ground. Your hands on your lap. The palms open. I invite you to close your eyes. I want you to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold your breath. Exhale. Hold your breath. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold. Continue breathing. I want you to feel your feet on the ground. Can you feel the ground on your feet? Can you feel the chair you're sitting on? Can you feel your gut? Can you put your hand on your heart and feel your heart beating? Can you feel your back? Notice how you're feeling now. tightness in your throat. Dry. Can you feel your neck? Any stiffness? Any pain? You feel your shoulders. Are they feeling heavy or are they feeling light? Are they upright or are they hunched to the floor? Can you feel your head? What is all of your body? What are you feeling in this moment? Is there any place that is tight in your body? Can you put your hand wherever you're feeling this tightness? Feel it. Can you embrace your body with love? Can you pat yourself on the side? Can you embrace your feeling? Can you accept whatever feeling you're feeling right now? Whether be it comfort, discomfort, tightness, looseness, whatever you're feeling, can you accept it? Can you embrace it? What do you think this feeling is trying to tell you? What's the message behind this feeling? Can you hear it? What's your body trying to tell you? Can you be grateful for your body? Can you be grateful for the miracle of your body? Your breath, your mind, your limbs. You take you where you want to go, when you want to. Can you be grateful for your body? And all it does for you, 24/7, never resting a moment. Your body who's keeping you alive and well. Come back to that feeling you're feeling right now. Can you accept the feeling? Can you embrace this feeling? Can you breathe? Deep breath. And a deep exhale. The sound. Inhale and exhale. Can you let go of this feeling? You let go with your exhale. Inhale and exhale. I let it go. Letting go of this feeling. There's no longer this problem. Welcome back. So I have the Mentimeter. If you can scan the code. If you've already scanned it, you can go ahead and answer. How are you feeling right now? Thank you, Rebecca. Here is the link. It's Mentimeter. It's 63209176. So I have people writing peaceful, at peace. You can put one or if you don't want to have five, you can put in whatever feelings. You don't necessarily have to use them all. So whatever you're comfortable with. But just make sure that you submit it so I see it. When I pick on the link, you're next. Okay, let me use this. Relaxed. David, you're able to get through it or you still need to scan?
When I click on your link in the chat, the next screen, it takes me to Mentimeter, but then the slide says, please join by scanning the QR code.
Ah, okay. Do you have anything called, you can join the a number? If you can put 63209176, the one I have in the chat, and then you'll be able to go in directly. Check if you're able to do that.
I don't see I use Menti all the time, but I don't see that screen where you enter the code.
Okay, let me see. Can you try Menti, going to Menti?
Yes, Nadine suggested you write menti.com and then you can go there and put the code.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. That's right. That's right. It should not be Mentimeter, and then there's the code. All right.
Yeah, probably I use it. What I use to create it is Mentimeter, but what you're using to answer is Menti. So that's sorry, that's a bit of. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. So feeling relaxed, amazing. Okay. And whoever have voted, if you can go on to the next slide, there's something else you could also go ahead and share. Which is basically, how do you perceive emotions? So we have joyous, peaceful, relaxed, there's the feeling. Thank you for that. And it's something you can do at any point in time, the feel technique, yeah? So emotions can be perceived as a guide. That's amazing. Okay. Perfect. I'm aware of the time, so I'm not going to share the results, but I basically shared it to you right now. So to move ahead, you can see my screen, right? The myth of emotions.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, I just wanted to share with you a few myths that we have or misunderstandings that we have when it comes to emotions. Are we recording, Noreen?
Yes. Would you like me to stop?
No. Just because I lost track. All right. So one thing is identifying with your emotion, as in you are not your emotion. a lot of people fall into the trap of saying, I am angry. No, no, no. You're not anger. I am feeling angry. There's a huge difference. And remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between real or not real. So whatever you say, your brain's going to believe it. So you are not your emotion. You are you. An emotion is a state that comes and goes. Yeah? You feel the emotion, but you don't identify with the emotion. Okay? And another one is labeling them. This is what I did. I fell into the trap that emotions are bad. Or emotions are good. Actually, they're neither good nor bad. They are guides. Like Rumi beautifully said in the guest house, they're guests, they're guides, they're here to help us. So we need to stop labeling them as good or bad. Emotion is an emotion. Yeah, and it is energy in motion, but it's not good or bad. Yes, there are positive emotions, and yes, there are negative emotions, and it's very important that we balance them. We cannot say that we're going to have all positive emotions all the time, because that's not really normal. Nobody's happy all the time, yeah? And that's not meant to be that you're happy all the time. But the key is to have a balance between them and to not label them. And emotions are temporary. We have the feeling that, oh, I'm going to feel like this all the time. No, it's not going to happen. So long as you're using the feel technique, so long as you are accepting the emotion. If you are resisting the emotion, then that time will seem like forever, because remember, what you resist persists. But if you accept that I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling angry. You be with the angry for a while, and then it's done, it's gone. But if you resist it, you're going to stay feeling angry for a much longer time. But all emotions are temporary. And then we always think, oh, this is a big one. Because we are not used to feeling, we tend to think about feelings. And I invite you to notice that with yourself. I think I feel anxious. No, it's I am feeling anxious. You do not fall in the trap of using your mind to talk about your body, because emotions is the body of the language, yeah? Mind stays in the mind. Don't confuse them. Stop using I think. And this is a very difficult muscle to train. For me, it took me a very long time, and maybe I'm not completely out of that trap. A lot of the times I catch myself thinking about feelings. Yeah? But you need to feel the feelings, not think. Okay, just so notice. And like we said, you need to be gentle with yourself. One day you're able to get it, another day you're not. That's okay. Everything will happen in due time. There's a lot of biases that we have. So we say that men don't cry, and I fell into that trap when I was bringing up my sons, and I used to tell them men don't cry, and I said, oh, if only I knew better. Now I know better. No. Men can cry, women can cry. Yeah. And men can be bossy and women can be bossy. There's no gender related emotion. Yeah. So we need to be very, very aware of these biases. And of course, the big one that David and I were talking about was vulnerability. Yeah, vulnerability and you're leading in front of people, and you don't want to influence them. But actually, it has been proven now that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Yeah. So when the best leaders, the best teachers, the best parents are the ones who are showing their vulnerability. They are authentic. And it doesn't make them a worse leader or a parent. Not at all. It makes them more human. Yeah. We tend to give more importance and weight to the rational than to the irrational. They're both important. We need both. We need both the left brain and the right brain. We need both the rational and the irrational. And we can't say that the rational is more important than the emotions or irrational. And we cannot say that the irrational is more important than the rational. We need them both. Yeah. many times we fall into the trap. Oh, emotions, they're stupid. They're completely useless. No, emotions are guides. They're here meant to send you a message, and you need to be very still and quiet and to be introspective and to really understand, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? What's my body trying to tell me? There is a lot of usefulness to that feeling, but you need to quiet all the chatter around you. Remember those 60,000 thoughts that are going in your body, and shush them all and be with your body and try to understand, why am I feeling, whether be it this frustration, this fear, this anxiety, this anger, whatever feeling you're feeling. They are not stupid. They are actually very useful. Now, The Gift of Emotions, this is based on The Language of Emotions by Carla McLaren. Just have a few of the emotions here. So when it comes to anger, the gift of anger is that you are being alive. It gives you energy. It gives you assertiveness. The action that is required when you're feeling anger is actually, somebody offended me. And integrity, you're trying to restore your integrity. There was a boundary that was overstepped, and that's why you're feeling the anger. So that is the gift of anger. Now, in Carla, she's saying that where you feel it is all over the body. I have the where in a different color because there are other schools that are saying that, you can't really define any certain place in the body where you feel a feeling. So some people are very clear, yes, you can, and some others are saying, no, you can't. So this is one of the things that you're still not completely clear on. I tend to be I'm of the school that no, you know where it is in the body and it is clear. However, some people I'm telling you, there's another. I'll point it to when I come and talk about the books, which one the lady says that. Now, when it comes to fear, you usually can feel it in the stomach or the upper chest, and this would mean that you're required to make action or have clarity. It's your survival mechanism. It's your protection. There's a lot of insight behind that. And when it comes to guilt,
Nadine,
yes.
I apologize, but we're very close to the end of the session time.
All right. So let me see if there was anything else. Oh, I can't. The time.
You told me to remind you to post the Wheel of Emotion and manual for them to download by the end of the session.
Okay. And what I'll do is the books that I have, I can put that on the Discord. Let me put the chat right now before I go. And I'm open to any questions. Sorry for that. I did ask you if we could make it a bit longer, if I could remember telling Nadine. 1 hour and a half is quite short. So let me just put this on the chat before anybody goes. Where is that chat? Thank you for bringing me back to time.
You're welcome.
Okay, here's this is one, and
should I stop the recording?
Yes, you can.
Or would you like to? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Any questions that you might have, please